Welcome to Makeup and More by Donna. I'm Donna. I am an esthetician, a freelance makeup artist, wig and hairstylist that's been working in the beauty and entertainment industry for over 30 years. I have a question for you. Are you that makeup artist that still struggles with applying eye makeup to someone that has more mature eyes? Or are you that person that has mature eyes that just finds that your eye makeup just doesn't quite look as good on you as it used to when you were in your 20s? Well, if you answered yes to one of those questions, this video is for you. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I apply a very natural, kind of basic and everyday look for someone that has more mature eyes. And the model just happens to be me. I'm going to be applying makeup to these 58-year-old eyes. So, enough of my talking, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started with my eyeshadow. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I just put more of an everyday natural eyeshadow look on my eyes to give it a little lift without looking like I'm overpowering with lots of eye makeup, because that's generally my everyday go-to. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be using, what I like to do first is to apply the medium color basically along the lid area right here, okay? And there's different brushes you can use. I prefer to use a brush that is kind of places the makeup on and doesn't really blend it out yet. So I like to use a brush like this and for the medium. And I'm going to be using a medium color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it, work the brush into the eyeshadow, and then I'm going to tap the excess off. What I do is I tap the excess off on a Kleenex so it kind of cleans it up, because I don't want to have too much, because if you have too much on your brush, you're going to end up getting fallout, and that's the last thing you want to do, right? So I'm going to be doing that. So what I do is I place it across here. Now I'm placing it. You see, I'm not doing this. This starts getting fallout. I'm placing the color right now. See? And just now I'm blending it after I applied it. I go back over there, make sure it's blended, and I check to see if it looks even. See? Now it's time to add the crease, and this is really important. This is where the step that actually gives you that lift of the eyes, because as we get older, you can tell that I've got a little bit of pooch right there. So I want to give illusion it's not there. I won't get rid of it. There's no way makeup can get rid of it, but we can give it an illusion that we're minimizing it. So what I want you to do is look in the mirror, and you can see from the outside corner of your eye and your eyebrow. Take your eye pencil and draw a line like this, okay? Now, you don't want any makeup going beyond that part, because if you do, it's just going to drag your eye down. So you want to make sure your eyeshadow stays within this area, okay? Got that? Okay. Now another thing is, I like to apply my my dark crease shadow with a brush like this. You can see it's more flat, it's not fluffy. And the reason why is that if this picks up product, and when you place it on your eyelid, it stays there. It doesn't go everywhere, because I want it in a detailed small space. So that is why I use a brush like this. And then I go back and I blend it out. So I'm going to be taking my medium color. Oh, actually it's more like a medium dark color. And I'm going to get a little bit right on the end, and I always take the excess off, because I don't want it like being too heavy. It's always better to add on as opposed to take off. What I do is I like to look in the mirror, and you can see, if you take the brush up like this and you can see where your lid hits, go like that. Just touch the brush right there, and you go across like that, and you draw that line. That's where your bags are sitting on your eyelids, okay? And I just take what's left and I kind of go down like here, and I do that. You see that? That you have, because that is the part that you want to minimize, okay? So I do that. Now it's time to blend out the line, because it's a little too harsh. Now you can use either these type of brushes, a fluffy brush like this, or a blush blush, a brush like this. So I'm going to be using a combination of both because I like to get more control, okay? So I'm going to start, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to take this and just kind of blend it. Now remember I told you about the line outside corner of your eye? Don't go past that. So what I do is I take what's on, whatever color is on my brush, and I kind of start the outside and I go in like this, okay? And I kind of open my eyes and I double check. See? See that? No line. Now what I like to do is take my fluffy brush, and I don't have any makeup on it, and I do circular motions, and that's where I like to blend it out. And I do circular motions right where the outside edge. I don't want to take away the intensity of the color, so I'm not really going on top of the shadow where I just applied. Think of the edge. You want to blend that edge out to nothing. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking excess makeup that's off the brush because you collected the makeup on the brush when you were blending. So I end up blending more. Sometimes it migrates past the outside corner of my eye, and that's where I like to take a little sponge or something like that and go up like this and take that line. Now I don't use my fingers, and the reason why is that your fingers have oil. I love working with sponges. I know the big thing is working with brushes, but working with a sponge, I can apply a whole makeup if I had to. Okay, so let's see here. There you go. See how nice and blended that is? Now I'm going to do the other side, okay? So there you have it. It's nice and blended. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to add a little highlight. So now I'm going to add a little bit of highlight. Now I'm not going to be adding highlight like right there because that's already puffy, because you just remember, dark makes things go away, recede, and light brings things out. And since this is already out, why do I need to put highlight? Now where I put the highlight, I put it right here because it's kind of dark there, because that's where my eyes are starting to droop over here, and this is becoming more hollow looking. And I'm going to put a little bit right above here because then it will help actually open and lift the eyebrow, okay? So you can apply it with a small detail brush or a brush like this, or even that same brush that I used for the shadow. So if you did that, which I'm going to be using, I'm making sure I'm taking the makeup off the brush by wiping it on a tissue, because you don't want to transfer the dark color onto the area you want to highlight, because it will be very muddy. Now, you can use a shimmer color or a matte color. It really depends on your eye. If your eyes are a little more crepey texture, avoid shimmer, glitter like the plague, okay? Because all it's gonna do is gonna actually make your crinkly eyes look even worse. So you want to have everything matte. Now my eyes are still pretty good, so I can get away with a little bit of it, but I'm starting noticing as I'm getting older, not so much. So I'm going to be using a matte color, and then after that I'll add a little shimmer just to show you what it's like. So I'm taking my little matte color here, and I'm taking the excess off. So I'm going to apply right here. Just a tad bit right there. I open my eyes. Just above there. See? Just a little bit, it's not too much. But I'm gonna add a little shimmer, just a tad, just to kind of make it a little sparkly. So I'm dipping the brush in the color, taking the excess off, and I'm just gonna go right through here, right on the lid here. See? It just pops everything out because this is getting a little, I want to bring this out to minimize how much this is puffing out. There you go. Now it's time to line the eyes. And I like to use a pencil preferably than over those liquid liners or those felt pen liners. I find if I use a felt pen liner, it gets a little too harsh, so I stay away from that. And my favorite pencil is a gel pencil because it goes on smooth, not tugging on the skin. You can get a better straight line, and it also sets up almost like waterproof, as opposed to a kohl pencil, which is based on waxes, and then what happens at the end of the day, it starts migrating, and that's when you get those smudges. So I find I have better luck with gel pencils, and there's so many different brands out there. I don't really recommend any particular, but I'm always for the most inexpensive, so I prefer the drugstore, this L'Oreal Infallible. But I'm not promoting it. I'm not getting any kickbacks from it. So that's what I'm going to use. Now, another little thing when you use gel pencils is that you want to make sure that the pencil is sharp, because if it's not, when you apply it, you get such a thick line, and you don't want that. You want to stay very detailed of the line. And also, when you sharpen it, here's a little trick. When you use your sharpener, make sure you clean that sharpener right away, because what happens is that a gel sets up and it like coats the pencil sharpener. So when you go back and use it again at another time, you have all that pencil residue on the blades, and it's really hard to sharpen. So make sure you clean it immediately, because it just seals up. That's what makes it waterproof. Just want to let you know about that. Okay, now when you have eyes like mine, there's always extra flesh. As you get older, unfortunately, that's what happens. But I'm going to show you a foolproof way to apply your liner to your eyes, and you won't get that stop and starting or a space between your lash line and your lid, because that happens a lot with a lot of people that have eyes like mine. So what you do is you're going to be doing you're going to be holding your brush on a 45-degree angle. You're not going to be using the tip exactly. You're going to use the side of the tip when you apply it. Also, you want to, when you have your eyes closed, you want to pull up on your lid slightly. Don't pull sideways, you want to pull up. If you pull sideways, it's going to affect how the line goes on. You just want to go up to take any of the excess lid that you have. And sometimes you need to pull up more than others because you may have more skin, unfortunately. So that's what I'm going to do. So I usually apply it with my dominant hand, and then you use your non-dominant hand and you pull up, and you want to like take a series of dots, and I always start from the outside and I work in. So it's like connecting the dots or the dashes. So I'm gonna get my situated here. I'm blind without my glasses, so, and I normally would hold a mirror, but I can't right now, so I'm using this hand, so hopefully I see what I'm doing. So I take that and I start from the outside and little series of dots, and I try to aim my pencil for my lash roots. If you aim for the roots of your lashes, you're going to get where you need to be. If somehow you aim for not the roots above it, that's where you get those spaces. I don't know why it happens that way, but it does. So what you do is you do a series of dots. See? I'm going to get my mirror so I can see if I did it right. Okay, yeah. So then sometimes I need to go back in and fill in the dashes. So I go back in and I'm using the dots. See? Look at that, nice line, and that's even without blending. Now, another thing with these gel pencils, so as you put them on your skin, you're gonna need to blend because they set up fast, and some pencils set up faster. So what I do is I go back with a brush to go over it and smooth it out. Now, you can use different types of brushes. You can use a brush sort of like this. You can use an angle brush, or you can even brush like this. And if you didn't have any of those brushes, you can even use the back of your pencil to smudge it, or even a cotton bud, something like this. So I'm going to use this. This gives it a nice soft look. If you use a more of a smaller brush, it gives you more of that intense look. So I want to soften this. So what I do is I just go over, just softening it up. And then I take whatever's on the brush and I kind of go up. Remember I was telling you about that line? Don't ever want to go past there. That's the same thing, you see? Now this technique does not work for the cat eyes. And basically cat eyes don't work for your eyes anyways. Because if you drew a line across like this and you look, see how this goes down? That line will go down and all of a sudden you're creating even more line. And do you really want to have droopy eyelids? No, I don't think so. So unfortunately, cat eyes are not your friend. especially when your eyes are, you know, like mine, 50 plus eyes, even 40 plus eyes, some eyes are like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this. All right, now I got a little bit of fallout. I love sponges to take any excess off. I don't use my fingers. So now I'm gonna do the bottom lashes. Again, I always start from the outside and I work in and I go halfway. I don't go all the way around. You don't ever wanna go around your eyes because it closes it up. It's a little too harsh, especially for our age. No, no, no. If you're younger and you wanna go that goth look or whatever, cool, go for it. But as we get older, less is more, okay? So I'm going to get my mirror here because I can't see anything. And I'm on an angle, and again, series of dots, and I'm actually drawing the line right where the roots of my lashes are. Not inside, just the roots, and I'm stopping right here. And I'm going back, and I'm connecting the dots. And I don't put a lot of pressure. More pressure you put on the pencil, the darker, thicker the line is, okay? It's always easier to go back over than remove. So then, you see that? See how it stops suddenly? You don't want to see that, okay? You want it to blend. So, I start from the outside of my eye and I go like that, and I kind of push the product before it's setting up. And I kind of open my eyes a little bit, just kind of do that. There you go, and I kind of work it. Kind of do this. There you go. Eyeliner. Now I'm going to do the other side. Now I have a little bonus trick for you. Let's say after you did the eyeliner and you didn't like how dark it was and you want to soften it, what you can do is you can go over the eyeliner that you just did with a different color and you can change it. So let's just say I want to soften this. So I'm going to take a like a little medium color for me, and I'm going to go over the pencil that I just did, and I dip in the same brush I used to blend, and I'm taking some excess off, and I'm going to go over it. Again, I'm gonna place it right here. And then I can go back and blend. And I'm not gonna change much the underneath part. I'm gonna leave the intensity about the same. So I'm just taking whatever makeup is still on the brush right here, just the outside. I'm just gonna blend it. Can you see the difference? Just a little softer. Just changes it up a little bit. It had a little more red in it because the pencil I used had more of a deep intense color, and I just wanted to add a little softer to it. Okay. This is a great trick because then you don't need to have all these different color eye pencils. You can have a base, and then you can just change up the color a little bit by adding the shadow on top of it. As you can see, I'm all done with my eyeliner along with my completed eye makeup look. I've also applied mascara, and I did a little technique called tight lining, which I will show you how I do that on a later video. Also, if you would like to have more tips and tricks, please subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to have a little one-on-one makeup lesson, you can, because now I'm offering virtual makeup lessons in the comfort of your own home. I will also leave that information in the comment box. So again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.